Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing something a bit different, taking a virtual tour, you could say.
Oh, where are we off to?
We're looking at some of the world's most visually spectacular university campuses. Really stunning places.
Okay. That sounds great. For so many people, university is such a huge part of life,
It really is.
and the actual place, the environment, it can make a huge difference to the whole experience, right? Your mood, motivation, everything.
Absolutely. And we've got a guide for this, an article from 10 Most Today.
Okay.
It highlights 10 universities that aren't just centers for learning, but are, well, just breathtakingly beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So the goal today isn't just to admire the pictures, is it?
Exactly. Wanted to dig a bit deeper. What makes these places so special? Is it just how they look?
Or is it more like the history, the location, maybe even the architecture itself playing a role?
Right. How does it all feed into the university experience?
Ah.
So let's jump in. First off, Paris.
Ah oui, Sorbonne University.
Yes. The article mentions its grand and sophisticated look, and it's right there in the Latin Quarter.
Which is iconic in itself. Imagine walking those streets to class
Totally.
and being so close to all those Parisian landmarks. It's not just nice for sightseeing. It sort of weaves the university into the city's whole cultural fabric.
That's a great way to put it, like a constant connection to all that history and art around you.
Exactly. A kind of everyday inspiration.
And it's interesting, its current form is actually quite new, right? Formed in 2018.
Yeah, from the merger of Pierre and Marie Curie University and Paris Sorbonne. Science and humanities coming together.
And it's a public university carrying this huge legacy within this amazing city setting.
It really shows how the urban environment itself can be part of a university's visual appeal, shaping the whole learning atmosphere.
Okay, so from the buzz of Paris, let's head over to Germany. Somewhere with a much, much longer history.
Right, Heidelberg University, founded way back in 1386, one of the oldest.
Wow. And the article really paints a picture. Historical structure, Baroque walls made of bricks, as well as bridges made of stone. It sounds almost fairy tale-like.
It does have that fantasy world feel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's not just about aesthetics. It speaks to centuries of tradition.
Mm.
And, the article mentions it has 29 Nobel Prize winners associated with it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, obviously, it's not a direct cause and effect, but it does make you think, doesn't it? Does an inspiring place like that maybe nurture creativity?
That's a fascinating question. Walking through halls that old, surrounded by that kind of history, maybe it does subtly influence how students think or what they aspire to.
It could. A sense of legacy, perhaps.
Maybe. It's sort of responsibility, even. Okay, let's switch gears completely. From ancient Europe to Canada, Royal Roads University.
Ah, yes, the one with the literal castle, Hatley Castle.
Exactly. A castle is your main building. That's pretty unique.
It really is. But it's not just the castle. The whole setting is incredible. It's in the Hatley Park National Historic Site.
Right, 260 acres.
Yeah, with biking and hiking trails, a Japanese garden. You've got views of the Olympic Mountains, the ocean. It's this amazing mix of grand architecture and stunning nature.
And here's a fun fact. The article throws in it's a filming location.
Oh, yeah. For what?
Deadpool, the X-Men movies. Stuff like that.
No way. So you might bump into Professor X on campus.
Huh? Maybe. It adds this kind of weirdly familiar pop culture layer to it all, doesn't it?
It does. I wonder, does that make it seem more relatable or maybe a bit less serious? It's interesting how different campuses achieve that spectacular feel.
Yeah, Sorbonne's integrated with the city. Heidelberg's steeped in history. Royal Roads has this castle in a park thing.
Exactly. Different formulas. Okay, we're next. How about New Zealand?
Sounds good. We're looking at the University of Otago, New Zealand's first university, established back in 1869.
Oldest in NZ, right?
And the design is described as a mix of modernity and neo-Gothic.
So you get those classic university building vibes, pointed arches, maybe some grand stone facades, but with newer elements too.
Seems like it. It suggests they value their history, but aren't afraid to, update things.
And the article mentions the sprawled green nature and the Leith River running through it.
Yeah, so it's not just the buildings. The landscape is key.
Absolutely. That blend of architecture and nature seems to be a common thread, doesn't it? That harmony.
It really does. Okay, let's hop across the Pacific again. Back to the U.S. Flagler University in Florida.
Ah, Flagler. Very distinctive look. That's Spanish Revival style.
Yeah, the cream and red brick, arched roofs, sloping windows. Very Florida in a way.
It is warm, inviting, but the real story is its origin, isn't it?
Right. It was originally built as a luxury hotel back in the 1800s.
Which explains the sheer grandeur. We're
Yeah.
talking chandeliers, panoramic marble staircases, things you don't usually find in a dorm.
Imagine. Studying in a place that used to host high society? It's even on the National Register for Historical Places.
It really is. That connection to the Gilded Age must feel quite present when you're walking around.
Yeah, it must. It shows how a building's past life can really define its character as a university space.
Definitely. It's about repurposing history. Okay, let's pivot to something much more modern. Hong Kong.
Right, the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, or HKUST.
And here, the setting is just, wow, on a slope overlooking Clearwater Bay.
Yeah, the article really emphasizes that view. Magnificent, it says.
And the campus design takes advantage of it. Terraced facilities built into the slope.
So academic buildings higher up, residences and sports facilities closer to the water.
Exactly. And visually, you have these white, modern buildings, including a sort of half-moon-shaped central one, all set against this incredible natural bay.
It sounds like the kind of place where the view itself is part of the learning environment, just constantly inspiring.
It really does. Okay, let's travel again. How about the Mediterranean? Sicily.
University of Catania, the main university in Sicily.
And its main building has this, the article calls it a bizarre Renaissance vibe.
Huh. Intriguing word choice. Apparently it was originally a monastery. And it's very white.
Interesting. So, a historical building again, but maybe with a unique Sicilian twist.
Seems like it. And the university isn't just one contained campus, right? The buildings are spread around the city.
Yeah, integrating it into Catania itself. The article mentions specific features too, like a mosaic tile floor in the university piazza. Little details that add character.
So it becomes part of the city's texture.
Exactly, woven right in. Okay, let's head north a bit. Belgium.
KU Leuven, one of the oldest Catholic universities anywhere.
And the image the source paints is very traditional academic, isn't it? The library.
Yeah, encompassed by green parks and cobbled streets. It sounds so picturesque and, well, scholarly.
It really does, that classic image of tranquil learning surrounded by history and greenery. It shows beauty can be in that quiet harmony, not just grand statements.
True. Okay, from classic Europe to Mexico. Monterrey Institute of Technology.
And this one's interesting because it's not just one look. It has 36 campuses.
36. Wow. So lots of architectural variety, I guess.
Huge variety. The article highlights the main rectorate building in Monterrey with a famous mural by Jorge González Camarena.
Okay, so art integrated into the architecture.
Right. But then it also mentions the medical school, which might have a different feel, and the CTech building with modern glass and stone towers. Big contrasts.
So each campus might have its own personality, reflecting maybe its specific focus or region.
That seems to be the idea, a dynamic system rather than one single image.
Interesting approach.
And for our final stop, we go somewhere truly spectacular geographically. India.
Shulini University of Biotechnology and Management Sciences. Located, get this, in the Himalayan mountain range.
Wow. Up in Himachal Pradesh. And it's designed specifically to complement that setting.
Set right in a pine forest, it sounds incredibly peaceful.
It does. But it's not just about looking good in nature. The article highlights its eco-friendly approach.
Oh yeah, how so?
Apparently, it generates twice the energy it consumes.
No kidding. That's amazing. So it's visually spectacular and sustainable.
Exactly. A really powerful example of how beauty and environmental responsibility can go hand in hand, working with the landscape, not just sitting on it.
That's a fantastic note to end the tour on.
It really ties things together, doesn't it? As you hear about these places, it might make you think about your own spaces, you know?
So looking back at all 10, it's clear that spectacular means different things, doesn't it?
It really does. You've got the historical grandeur, the integration with amazing natural landscapes, the clever urban connections, modern architectural statements.
And even that commitment to sustainability adding to the appeal, like at Shulini.
Absolutely. And like we said at the start, while you wouldn't choose a university just for its looks.
No, of course not. Academics come first.
Right. But these examples really show how much the physical environment can offer. It's more than just a backdrop.
Yeah, these places seem like they could genuinely inspire you, motivate you just by being there. They become part of the whole memory and experience.
They really can shape that whole life phase. They become landmarks in your own story.
It definitely reminds us how much our surroundings, the physical spaces we're in, can impact how we feel, how we learn, how we live.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, listening. Just take a moment to consider the spaces you inhabit every day.
Hmm. Like your workplace, your home, even just your neighborhood park.
Exactly. How do those physical environments shape your experience, your mood, maybe even your productivity or creativity? It's something to think about. The spaces around us are rarely just neutral, are they?
That's a really provocative thought to end on. Food for thought, definitely.